You look just like your mother. I'll not lose her again. I shall freeze hell in its entirety if that is what it takes to get her back. You'll help me, won't you, granddaughter? Cold vengeance grows deep inside our hearts. Let it flourish for a while. I have slain titans once or twice before. You get to do the honors now, it seems. I shall not rest until your mother, the queen, is restored to her rightful throne. May Kronos shiver, knowing well his actions shall not go unpunished. My blessings, granddaughter. You're like a cool winter's breeze. You have your mother's strength. Take mine as well. Perhaps you feel the bitter cold even from there. We are amid a dark season indeed, my granddaughter. Desolation unto those who side with the Titans against us. However I can aid in your pursuits, I shall, Flower. Can you feel the biting chill in the air, granddaughter? It shall intensify for you. So many traitors stand against us now, but soon they all shall lie in ruin and decay. Through the seasons I bring life as well as death. Which shall it be this time? Even the ichor flowing through a titan's veins can be made to run cold. The days grow dark, though perhaps they shall take a turn for the better as yet. For mortals, life is precious as it is fleeting. We goddesses can snuff it out so easily. You grow ever stronger, Flower, and it warms my cold heart. Let none stand between you and your ambitions, granddaughter. Death and decay to the enemies of Olympus. Those who dare stand against Olympus shall be summarily destroyed. Pride and wrath run deep within our family, granddaughter. It matters not that Kronos is our kin. There is no bond that cannot fray. May you know times of peace as you grow long in years. But for right now, be as complete and as relentless as the winter's cold, Malinoe. Ah, the ever-turning cycle of death and rebirth. Isn't it exquisite in a way? Would that the surface offered fairer climes, Flower, but no, not yet. Together let us see to it that Kronos reaps all that he has sown. Grow strong and flourish like I know you can, Malinoe. I think by now our foes are good and ripe for the harvesting. Look what I picked just for you this eve, Flower. I miss your mother terribly, and your brother as well. He was my little sprout. Kronos must have ensnared him with the others in your father's house. The unforgivable wretch. Malinoe, I was certain you were gone. Scarce born, only to be taken by Kronos, along with my daughter and those nearest her. But the Witch of the Crossroads got you out of there, did she? How could she not send word? When bright Apollo gathered us and announced that his twin sister, whilst out hunting for our enemies, stumbled upon a long-lost relative with the Witch of the Crossroads, why, I was overjoyed and furious at once. You could have informed us, informed me, whilst you grew supple and strong in the witch's care. Yet knowing Hecate, she must have deemed the risk too great. I understand. I'll try to understand. I've so much I would speak with you about, Malinoe, but this is not the hour or the means. At least you can hear me, can't you? And I can sense your presence, faint and distant though it may be. You know I always felt a kinship with Hecate, seldom though we saw each other. She never seemed to want for children of her own, but the fates delivered you to her anyhow. I detested Kronos even in my youth, almost as much as my own Titan father. We took our vengeance, though, on Kronos, Hyperion, and the rest. But I was a fool to think we'd never see any of them again. We've been locked in conflict with Kronos for so long that we've begun to doubt that anything can meaningfully change. I wonder, Flower, can you truly rid us of this blight? Hera, Hestia, and I were far enough afield in disposition that we were not particularly close as sisters go. Although warring against Kronos has brought us somewhat closer, I suppose. You sprang forth from underneath that gloom onto our world's surface, have you, Flower? If you mean to visit our mountain, merely follow the path of desolation leading straight to us. My understanding was your line could scarce survive beyond the reaches of the underworld. Yet there you are, traipsing about as though not bound by your father's fate. How can this be? Even in the dark of a new moon, when Selene herself dares not ride across the cold night sky, I found you there, and I shall give you all the power that I have to spare. That rainfall there may be of benefit to you, washing all the filth away, revealing new growth. Think you that Zeus himself brings the rain, or Poseidon? Take one more guess. The bounties of the earth. Life flourishes even there where you reside, amid all that death. Flowers, roots, herbs, and seeds. You know their hidden strength. I let them grow for you. You've picked an abundance of moly flowers. Unassuming little things, aren't they? Not unlike you, for they too hold power far beyond that suggested by their form. As the sapling struggles to grow, so too must we push ourselves to discover our truest potential. Behold my power over life and death. May you find yours. The seasons are a never-ending cycle of decay and renewal, though there are such times when the seasons assert themselves much more fiercely than usual. Times such as now. Your uncle Poseidon created that watery chasm you see before you. I've half a mind to freeze it shut, though I fear our enemies shall cross it anyhow, and your voyage would only be more fraught. There's a touch of moonlight about you, Flower, as though Selene lights your way. Would that the moon concerned herself with more than her path across the sky. Your fair cousin Apollo wields the light that mortals so cherish, for it brings them warmth, melting away my snow. With my permission, of course. His power shall only help you so much. The great and crafty Zeus is aiding you directly now? Then you truly must be one of our best remaining chances to thwart the Titan's plans, for Zeus is loath to ask for help, or offer it. Ah, you bear the blessing of Poseidon. Surely such a loud and blustering god must have more than sufficient might to back it up. So Poseidon has again availed himself to you. Well, good, and may he prove of use. I'll hold my threat to freeze his oceans then, for now. Why, you even got the elusive god of the forge to crawl out of his cave. To think that all it took was this terrible infighting with our forebear to bring our family closer together. Well, it seems you've earned the good graces of my sister Hera. And you didn't even have to commit yourself to a mate or bear any children, I suppose. She must be growing soft. So Hestia gave you her gift of flame. Normally, the old miser wants nothing to do with any of us, not even her sisters. But extraordinary times do call for extraordinary measures. Normally, sweet Aphrodite's power over beauty provides no shortage of entertainment, I'm sure, though I fail to see how her blessing can be of much benefit in such a predicament as ours. You're making haste, Flower. I'd swear that you were graced by swift Hermes himself, except he must be too busy keeping watch over our enemies to be of much benefit to you. Perhaps I misjudged your woodsy cousin Artemis. To think that she found you. I was certain she was merely gallivanting with her nymph friends rather than being of use. I wonder if the vile pomegranate fruit yet grows in your underworld. It holds a power there that I do not abide. A mere taste of its blood-like seeds can be very dangerous indeed. What happened, granddaughter? May those wretches that hurt you thus suffer 1,000-fold for what they have done. Ah, you're hurt. You're partly mortal blood's to blame. And so am I, for having fallen into love with a mere farm boy once. I see the Witch of the Crossroads taught you not just strength, but grace. I hereby accept your offering, and have something for you as well. It seems there are such youth today as still can show my generation due respect. I am pleased my own granddaughter is such an example. Why, Flower, surely there are other matters weighing heavily upon you now, more so than honoring your elders in the customary way? Nevertheless, I'm grateful for this, truly. It's strange. As much as I loved your mother, she never honored me thus. Perhaps I was too lenient with her, or perhaps your generation is merely more considerate of their predecessors. Granddaughter, Poseidon here has been regaling me about the time his seas drank half the land. Ah, such a flood that was. Perhaps our strengths can be combined again. Oh, Poseidon, you needn't lie to young Melinoe like that. It sends a terrible impression, and may make her hold you in as much contempt as do I. But let's cooperate for now, why not? As you begin your next attempt at the seemingly impossible, know that I shall be with you to the bitter end. In blessing form, at least. Go forth on this next ordeal with my blessing, granddaughter. I have a feeling it shall be a very cold night for our enemies. How shameful that we now resort to common subterfuge, having our correspondence smuggled to and fro by the erstwhile boatmen of the dead. The Titan's coin that you exchanged for this message. We shall find all of it, melt it down, and return the gold whence it came. You would spurn your own grandmother? Perhaps where you were raised, proper manners were not taught as a priority. Even amid such times, we gods and goddesses yet have our pride. You would be wiser next time not to hurt mine thus. I am not angry with you any longer, granddaughter. Merely a little disappointed at the moment. Oh, I cannot remain upset with you, Flower. I would rather you look upon me kindly than with scorn. If only you could see my fields in the morning sun, shining brighter than any gold you shall ever find. Such metals ought to remain within the earth. To be reduced to picking through such meager offerings. You ought to have lived here in the glory of Olympus, where everything that you desire is at hand. For the most part. I care very little for surprises, Flower, and perhaps in that we are alike. Yet there exists a rare variety that's welcome, like a brisk breeze on an autumn eve. How humiliating that even our boons must be concealed, lest we risk revealing too much about our plans and defenses to our enemies. The first time your mother was lost to me, the Witch of the Crossroads emerged from the shadows to light my way as I searched to the ends of the earth. We found not a thing, but at least I was not alone. We are connected not unlike that sheaf of barley which you have. Each stem is broken easily, and yet the bunch is strong, each different, and yet all very much alike. You inherited your mother's flaxen hair, and seemingly her force of will. Greenery would burst to life for her. The dead would too, if but they could. Within the reaches of my heart not yet grown cold, I know she still is safe. Your father was sullen and difficult even whilst young, quite honestly. What my daughter saw in him, I could not. Yet my Kore, as I called her, she would brighten around him. Word reaches us that you located Hades, Flower. How he must seethe, incarcerated in that pit of despair, although at least he's whole. What of your mother? Nothing still? Granddaughter, where have you been? In the deepest reaches of your father's realm, perhaps, striking at the very heart of our enemy. One can but hope. What are you doing in those brackish depths, Flower? Even Poseidon has turned his back on what lurks in that corner of the sea. Does such a path truly lead deeper into hell? Your journey sends you through the morning fields. I've seen that place. Just dreadful, utterly. All of the wheat there, I thought perhaps it would provide a bit of cheer. Nothing lives in the city of Ephira, and I shall keep it that way until its infestation of shambling wretches is brought to heel. Though you need not concern yourself with the details. We have someone already on the case. That rift of Thessaly could easily be turned to ice, you know. I'd like to see the enemy's fleet sail across it then. But I'm told we have to cool it with the cataclysms for a while. Mortals and their begging. I take it Kronos still goes everywhere with that old gaudy-looking golden scythe of his? He fancies himself a reaper, speaks of harvest and decay. But he merely speaks in riddles, whilst I work directly in the trade. Fear not for this mountaintop, nor for the earth, for she is far more resilient than us all. Our foes could scour every trace of our existence, yet Mother Gaia would remain and recover. When my sisters and my foster brothers and I overthrew Kronos long ago, we were much closer to your age, Flower. Now we are older, and one should think wiser, although our frequent bickering and inaction suggest otherwise. Well, Lord Zeus, it is much harder to regrow where not a trace of life remains. But that's of little consequence right now. Let all who oppose us wither, and we shall salt the earth beneath their feet. Of late, even my radiant young sister must sully her delicate hands in all the field work that must be done. She is even beginning to take to it. Aren't you, Hera, our queen? The time for restoration always comes, as does the spring. But we're amidst a long winter, without an end in sight. We need concern ourselves with naught else, O Queen. You know, Flower, how mortals seek to be like us? Yet in so doing, they take on our ignoble qualities. Perhaps it's Lord Apollo's fault, as the standard to which they aspire. Thank you for your advocacy services, Apollo. Should I have need of them again, I shall apprise you. For now, my granddaughter requires our abilities, not honeyed words. Aid from Olympus can take many different forms, as not all of us are suitably prepared or even built to face significant ordeals. Take, for instance, fairest Aphrodite over here. Please pay no heed to Aphrodite, Flower. She's more concerned about the contours of my face than doing anything of use. But on the count that we've much catching up to do, she's right. Even I could use a bit of heat on some occasions, Flower, which the forge of Hephaestus here provides. Perhaps as compensation for the utter lack of warmth between most members of our family. Not one of us has got things well under control, granddaughter, so pay what Hephaestus said no heed. Instead, use our strength combined, and fate's willing, restore for us some sense of normalcy. Your great-aunt Hestia is not exactly as she seems. In olden times, she was content merely to let her flames keep sputtering within the hearths of mortal homes. Admit to it, sister. You've changed. Hestia, you had abandoned us. To be an Olympian is not merely a birthright, but a pledge, both to this family and this mountain. Restore your rightful status, and join me now to aid my granddaughter. You are a direct descendant of mine, and still you would spurn me like this. Such wrath I feel, Malinois, that I have a great deal to spare, even for you. Had you grown up within your father's house, you would have learned respect. Understand that lately I lack the patience for such antics, granddaughter. Do not choose against me even in jest, granddaughter. Apollo makes light, not I. So what if Hestia is technically my elder? She hardly gives Olympus her attention. I'm finished tolerating insolence. No exceptions, not even for you. Do not anger me again, Flower, or I shall make you wilt. All you young goddesses are far too much alike. This is not a betrayal, granddaughter, merely a lesson. My mood's as foul as the weather as of late. Apologies for the outburst, Flower. You weathered the storm, though could have avoided it outright, of course. There need not be a strain between us, granddaughter. Forgive me, I was rash. This family and our blasted pride. These constant fights with our own kin. Pff. Wise choice. Good pick. Like a breeze. I'd not a doubt. Thank you, Flower. My granddaughter. We'll show them all. Plentiful. Hello, Flower. It is I. My greetings. Granddaughter. What have we here? What a surprise. Very well. Yes, of course. I shall oblige. Your choice. Yes, done. As you wish. Certainly. For you. Cold as death. Cut short. Rooted out. The witch Circe, whom you know. She's a distant daughter to my Titan brother Helios the sun, who dares not show his face. Her enthusiasm for soil and grain is almost cloying, though I appreciate the underlying sentiment. Something about this night is troubling, as though some force of will yawned forth from the very depths of chaos. But you wouldn't know anything of this, would you? Such a foreboding night this is. The air is thick with the death and decay of your father's realm, and the desolation I have wrought. The pale moon can scarce cut through. Injured already? Know that the pains we suffer are the means by which we grow, and our enemies are about to grow a great deal. You spill your blood each night for our mistakes. I cannot cure your ailments from here, but I can make your enemies shatter to pieces, if that is of any comfort. You have one grandfather in the cruel Titan Kronos, and another who was nothing but a mortal farm boy worshipper of mine. Whether I loved or pitied him, I cannot say. At least your mother was born deathless. Should this night take you all the way to hell and back, I still would gladly come along. But this is the best that I can do from here. The forecast for this evening calls for a sharp decline in temperature. Though you are well accustomed to the cold by now, aren't you? Are you on your way here to us, Flower? A journey that your mother made many a spring, but at a different time, whilst not beset by thuggish followers of a despicable Titan. I thank you for the offering, though I am usually left cold. From mortals lately, merely begging cries for mercy, nothing more. Let my crops grow, Lady Demeter. Save my harvest, Lady Demeter. Insufferable. Perhaps I ought to have far more gratitude myself. I think so often of my pain and lack. How could I not? Yet I have you, this mountain home, and more. Would only that the burden of it all ever lightened. I thank you, Flower, for you've thrown our enemies upon this mountain into turmoil. Even now they attempt to regroup, but with your continued effort we may drive them back. Prometheus stole fire from us not for mortal kind, but because he desired it for his own gain. What good is that power to him now, upon a mountain cold as ice? The very ground beneath our feet has started to shift, and it bodes ill, I think. What does blasted Kronos now intend to do? Topple our entire mountain to the earth? You would forsake my blessing, even knowing it is sought after all the world over. I take no pride in what I am about to do, Malinoe, but how else shall you learn? If this was your attempt at humor, know that it was lost on me entirely. If you are wondering whether that icy chill you feel in the air is mine, it is. Your mother used to anger me in just this way, and look where that got her. Let us move on. Your provocation needn't have roused my ire to the extent that it did. No harm comes of a little fight. We ought to focus on the real fight instead. I am not angry with you, granddaughter, and I admit I acted out of turn. Oh, Malinoe, we mustn't fight. Not with each other, only side by side. Ugh, I ought bury these impulses that drive me to act out of temper, not reason. Behold, how sensible of you. My granddaughter, I'm proud of you. Tonight calls for inclement weather, so our enemies had better bundle up. As you are my granddaughter, you are welcome to reap the benefits. The earth shall drink deep of the blood of our enemies. Those that can bleed, at least. It remains unseasonably cold up here, Flower. But you seem not to mind. I shall not hesitate to purge what warmth remains within the earth, if that is what it takes. Oh, Ares. Not even our most eager god of war can put an immediate stop to the troubles that our family is having to weather. Have you so little control of your domain? It was not I who made this personal, Ares. Perhaps if at some future point you have your own children and grandchildren taken from you, then you shall understand. For now, however, you need but to comply. Oh, granddaughter, what would I have ever done if not for you? That this mountain yet stands is one thing, but then you found your mother for the both of us. I cannot repay you. What love I have to give shall have to suffice. You say I gave you hope. I was intent on fighting the Titan no matter what. But having met you, I started to consider the possibility that we might prevail. Then I could see my daughter's gentle face and her daughter's. I can think of no worthier cause. I shall accept this, but no more. Know that your mother and I always had our struggles, Flower. It was only once she lived her own life, rather than my idea of it, that our withered connections started to heal. May your and my relationship grow quickly past that point. Malinoe! Oh, Flower, it's truly you. Forgive me, we must maintain decorum here, but I am very pleased to see you here before me, rather than within the dimness of a boon. Please call me grandmother, although perhaps not here. I was furious to have missed you when you visited before, and was not about to let that reoccur. But you cannot stay, can you? If the fates have any mercy in their hearts, then yes. Flower! The storm has passed. That monster turned the weather such that not even Lord Zeus or I could stop it properly. But now he's gone, and we have you to thank. Perhaps not even Kronos can withstand what you unleashed. But be careful, granddaughter. Make certain we shall meet again. Granddaughter. I shall not dignify him with so much as a passing glance, Malinoe. The Titan would have reached a different end were it for me to decide, but I'm grateful that the outcome was not worse. Of course, and there shall come a time again when your mother shall be visiting us half the year. Perhaps then you may come along, once every few seasons at least. And you, of course, grandmother. Let it be done. I know the way. As you say, very well. I could snuff out the flames of that Prometheus. But in so doing, all of mortal kind would likely freeze. I am not yet prepared to go that far, though likely can be pushed. If it is true you reached the underworld's depths and slew that wretched Titan there, then good. It likely shall take more than that, I know, but you must have inflicted some amount of pain and perhaps fear. Which is a start. You bested Kronos again, didn't you, Flower? We always knew he could be beaten. I once saw to it myself. But can he be destroyed? The Witch of the Crossroads must know. Your recent descent took you deeper than my deepest roots, close to where the Titan Kronos now resides, and holds your mother captive with the rest. Is there no way to inform us of what happened? The incursion by that abhorrent monster Typhon. It is more than a threat. It is an insult. I control the seasons, yet he dares smother our mountain in his foul storm. If Kronos truly is behind the reawakening of Typhon, then he is not merely arrogant, but mad. He promises another golden age, yet visits such a creature on this world. Zeus says you substantially contributed to Typhon's defeat at our summit. Thank you for that, Flower, but I regret I could not have been there to say so at our palace grounds. Our enemies are numerous and not letting up. That monster Typhon apparently has not yet understood that neither he nor Kronos shall stop us. But we shall make him, and your presence here may be the difference we need. Now the Titan Kronos is our solitary goal. Show him no more mercy than the monster he unleashed would have shown us. But be careful. I demand your safe return. As much as I relished our victory over Typhon, to have finally met you meant the world to me, Flower. Forgive that I am not known for my cheer, especially as of late. And may we see each other again. What have you done? The Titan Kronos ought to have been destroyed, not taken in. The rot is in his very soul and cannot be removed. But my daughter, she sent word that she is well, and what am I to do with all of this? I shall never forgive Kronos, nor do I wish to see his wretched countenance again. But if whatever spell you cast on him has truly withered his ambitions, then so be it. Perhaps there was no other way. Your mother used to visit us for months on end, but now, knowing that she is all right and restored to her underworld throne, I could not ask for more. Not right away. A proper garden must be carefully maintained. So it shall be with your underworld as I see it, Flower. If there exists some lingering influence from Kronos, let us root it out. This scheme that Kronos has devised to keep us all occupied. Even Prometheus remains a nuisance as before. Inform us right away if you suspect any deceit. Snow falls gently on Olympus as before, but no trace of Typhon's foul storm remains, or of the rest of him. But you are able to confront him still somewhere beyond. There has been little cause for joy upon Olympus in the recent past, certainly not for me. But seeing you, Flower, that made up for much of the hardship. I know it may be some time before we meet again, but also know we shall. Now even the Weavers of Destiny apparently are gone, and shall do nothing to preserve their stake in our futures. That is the talk on the mountain, granddaughter. So then we truly are alone, but we can fend for ourselves. How revolting to think that Kronos is technically a grandfather to you, as I am a grandmother. We have no connection at all, yet this family tree of ours has grown for many eons and has twisted limbs by now. Kronos claimed not even he knows where the three fates currently reside, despite having cast them away himself. I've seldom heard such foolishness. To think such a bumbling fool could have come so close to overthrowing us. The Weavers of Destiny have sprouted up from the earth once again, and conveniently right after we quelled the Titan's uprising without them having to intervene. We never could depend on the fates. When my sisters and I and your father and his brothers first slew Kronos long ago, it was an ugly victory, but ushered in an age in which Olympus ruled. Now it seems another age is nigh, and I have yet to see a perfect one. At times I fear that I've grown cold and bitter, but this matter has been quite rejuvenating in a way, ever since meeting you. I had perhaps been dormant for too long. Of late I feel increasingly at loss for words, Flower. After all this toil, I may wilt from social graces for a while, though you'll have my undying support for as long as you require. Some sort of skull you have. One of the arms of night, I know, and yet that form. Something about it, it reminds me not of Nyx, but of my daughter? But do not listen to my ravings. Carry on. That artifact you bear. Such cold is emanating from it that I sense its power all the way from here. Whatever is the origin of all that death-like frost, it isn't of this realm. I knew warlike Ares would be unable to resist giving our present conflict his personal attention. Although I doubt he shall help put it to an end, for he is thoroughly enjoying this. Did the famous wisdom of Athena live up to her reputation, Flower? I would think our master strategist should not have to defend the front lines herself. But what do I know? None know better than I of just how cruel the turning of the seasons can be. I shall drain all remaining life from whichever of our enemies have any of it left. Even in the wake of such devastation as we have seen, life can survive and regrow. From the ashes of this war, may we yet flourish with sufficient time. Time threatened to take everything away from us, but we held fast and always shall. I reached out to the Witch of the Crossroads recently, to give thanks to her for making such a difficult decision to keep you hidden for as long as she did. I know she did it for your safety, and to raise the likelihood we would prevail. Surely he would not admit to this, but your father has been through quite an ordeal. Worse perhaps than any of us. But he and your mother have weathered difficult times before, and each time they have grown from it. Do you see those tiny flecks that drift down from the heavens to the earth? I call it snow, and it is beautiful but very cold. We gods ought to be like the snow ourselves. Your brother Zagreus, why I suppose he's no longer my little sprout by now, grown as he has into a noble underworld prince. That you two finally know each other gladdens my old heart. Oh, and here, to keep you warm.